عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah. Assalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah sallallahu
Sallallahu
alayhi
alayhi
wasallam.
wasallam.
All praises are due to Allah, the one who created us, the one who has no beginning, the one who has no ending, the one that is the only uncreated in existence. And everything besides Allah is created. And nothing that is created can become a part of Him because He is unique, He is one, He is not divided up into multiplicity, and nothing can join with Him. Assalamu alaikum, very welcome to joining the R2F show, where we have a summer of destroying innovation. We had a whole book of it that we've been covering for the last several weeks. Um, Last week we're only on page 10, and we're going through this methodically. And if you are anybody that has watched any of these episodes, especially last week's episode, and you're still holding on to anything from this book, from anybody that takes from this book, from anybody that teaches from this book, from anybody that wrote this book, from anybody that supports this book, then something is seriously wrong with you. Seriously wrong with you. If you do not break out into straight laughter at some of the ridiculousness of the things that's in this book, there's only two options. You're either going to get really angry or get really giggly because this stuff is really ludicrous. It's almost like listening to, um, these Nation of Islam people talk about their version of Islam. But we're gonna, inshallah, when Mubarak gets on, we're gonna start off talking about a couple of ayats, a few ayats from the Holy Quran.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Like
Walaikum
Islam, I'll
assalam.
say. So we got your mic working, but the camera's
But
not
the
on.
camera's not working.
Yep.
Oh my god.
But we're
Mm.
gonna share the screen so that you don't actually need the camera right now. If you wanna, let me share the screen
Yeah, they
for you.
don't need to see me inside.
Yeah, that's just for the ladies.
A'udhu billahi
Hold on.
Oh yeah, Allah.
All right. I think we should be good. There we go.
Oh, you changed the video.
Mm.
Whenever
A'udhu
you're
billahi
ready.
minash shaitanir rajim.
Oh, we're good now. There we
Okay.
go. Alhamdulillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها ثم عرضهم على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم قال يا آدم أنبئهم بأسمائهم فلما أنبأهم بأسمائهم قال ألم أقل لكم إني أعلم غيب السماوات والأرض وأعلم ما تبدون وما كنتم تكتمون قال الله تعالى وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها, and he taught Adam the names, all of them. And so Allah is saying in this ayah 31, 32, 33, how he taught Adam the names of everything. And then he told the angels, أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين. Inform me of the names of these if you are truthful. Because in the previous ayah last week or the week before, we talked about how the angels were not questioning Allah's authority, but they were curious as to why. أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء, where you put a Khalifa in the earth who's going to cause corruption and do these bad things, what they had seen before. So they're asking a question. And so after Allah taught Adam the names of everything, we have to understand, Adam knew the name of every single solitary thing. Even in Tafsir goes in and says even he knew the names of, passing wind and everything. Like, so even things you would think insignificant or very significant, he knew the name of everything. And that's one thing that's very important. When you know the name of not just one thing, but the more things that you know the names of, because what is knowledge except for knowing what things are called
Hmm.
and knowing the context of a thing.
Yep.
So just like we know the names, we know some names, Lahut, Lamakhan, right? We know the name, but do we have enough names surrounding that to make to put it into context and to understand? Do we know Lahulamakan, Pakistan, gift shop? There's lots of different things. Cave. There's all types of things that the more things that we know, the more names that you know, and in context, then this is knowledge. But
Hmm.
Allah taught Adam the names of everything. What did the angels say in response? قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا. We don't, subhanallah, they said, exalted are you. We don't know anything except for what you have taught us.
Hmm.
And this is the thing. If we know a bunch of names of things, but we don't know enough names, Adam knew all of the names of every single thing. We know, depending on how much knowledge we might have, we know what things are called in the context and the names of things. But whether you know a little bit or a lot, it's only what Allah has taught you and has allowed you to know, learn, and understand. So just like the angels say that they don't have any knowledge except for what Allah taught them, the same for us. We don't have any knowledge except for what Allah has taught us and has allowed us to learn and find. So there are people that might be listening to this that they are going to have some knowledge. They're going to know some names of things,
Hmm.
but they don't know enough. And the only thing that we are doing here is we are just like the angels knew some, and Adam was superior because he knew all of the names of things. And Allah and His Messenger have displayed in this ayah and in the Hadith of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that people are in different ranks and levels based on their knowledge and what they know and what they can apply, what they can put into context. So therefore, we are trying to today and going forward, it's what the show has always been about, us sharing the knowledge that we have, that Allah has taught us, that allowed us to know and share so that the people can increase in knowledge and then be able to use that knowledge in context and not just have one thing, one name, one concept.
Hmm.
Instead, you will hopefully, the more things that you know, the more knowledgeable you will be. And not only will it benefit you and you doing good works, but also help you to avoid, due to lack of knowledge and not understanding
Hmm.
and not having enough names under your belt of different things and being able to put it in context, to fall into harm or to fall into displeasure of Allah and other things. So, as the angels say, we don't know anything except what you have taught us. And what else did they say? Innaka antal alimul hakim. That most definitely only you, Allah, is al alim and al hakim, the all knowing and the all wise. These are the attributes of Allah. These are the names of Allah. They only belong to Him. Al alim, the knowledgeable one, the one who is all knowledgeable. This is for Allah. So if anyone is telling you that they know things of the unseen and things that are knowledge that only Allah has, this is this is a form of shirk
Hmm.
because this only belongs to Allah. Or Al Hakim, the all wise. Every decision that Allah makes is the best decision. It's the most wise decision.
Hmm.
If you think any person, it doesn't matter if it's your spouse, your father, your sheikh, or anybody else, if you think they're infallible, they can only make perfect decisions and everything that they say and do is perfect, this is a form of shirk because Al Hakim is only for Allah. He is the most wise. He is the one who is all wise. And this the angel stated that, and Allah put it in the Quran and is putting it here not just so they can recite it and it sounds nice, but so that you will know. Innaka antal alimul hakim. Only you. You are the one who is the all knowing and the all wise. So then Adam tells Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Adam, قَالَ يَا آدَمُ أَنْبِئْهُمْ بِأَسْمَائِهِمْ. Inform them of the names, tell them, explain to them everything. So, فَلَمَّا أَنْبَأَهُمْ بِأَسْمَائِهِمْ, then when he told them all the names, and Allah is saying, look, قَالَ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ لَكُمْ, didn't I tell y'all? إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ غَيْبَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. It is me that knows the غَيْبَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, unseen of the heavens and the earth. This is another thing. This is only for Allah. Even the angels didn't know. They didn't have. They were closer to Allah than any human beings,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't know. And Allah says, "It's only me. I know the knowledge of the heavens and earth. وَأَعْلَمُ مَا تُبْدُونَ, and I know what you make plain." Right? Sometimes people will tell you, "Oh, this is whether it's a place, a name of a place. Oh, this is a special place, and this is what they make plain to you. This is what they let you know throughout their mouth." But Allah also says, وَمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْتُمُونَ, and what you hide, what you conceal.
Mm.
So this tafsir was talking about how the amongst the angels, Shaitan was there, and he was concealing in his heart the fact that he disliked and hated Adam, and that he felt like he was better.
Mm.
But also, what happens is some of the things that we are told about certain things and places and things, what we're being told is some of the truth, and other things they conceal.
Mm.
But Allah knows what the people conceal. And what does Allah say in another ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah? Wallahu mukhrijum ma kuntum taktumun. And Allah is the one who brings out conceal.
Mm.
And alhamdulillah, this is what we're going to start teaching today. We're going to bring out what has been concealed for almost 40 years, concealed in plain sight. But
Yep.
the reason why it was concealed from us, because we didn't know, we didn't have the knowledge. You didn't know all of the names. You knew one name, two names, but like Adam was given knowledge of everything, we
Mm-hmm.
just didn't have enough. And that's where we're here today, hopefully to fill in the gaps. May Allah make it easy for us.
I mean,
And I just wanted to before I turn it over to Amr to kind of guide us through all this, is I really want to emphasize to the people, and it's like when as Muslims, we don't go around miracle hunting. We don't go around like trying to make everything some great elaborate sign and self promote ourselves or whatever. But I really want to just key in. We mentioned this last week. You mentioned the week before. The ayat that we're covering are a continuation of a different video series that Mubarak was already doing. Okay, we decided really on a whim, last minute. Hey, let's start covering the Black Book. You know what? Also, let's just incorporate the Tafsir show into this and just kind of like try to cover our best. And alhamdulillah, Allah's the best of planners. Allah's the best of guides. Has nothing to do with us. We do, alhamdulillah. We wish we had more time to plan for these shows. We are not coordinating this, and it just so happens every single ayat that we're going in or Mubarak's going in order covering specifically addresses like what we're talking about in this Black Book. Like in the ayat where Mubarak was talking about Allah is Alim al-Hakim, the most wise. And in the ayat right below it, it shows that he commanded Adam didn't have permission to tell the angels anything until Allah said, Adam, tell them the names. And this is just shows like how Allah reveals information through his messengers to what he wants them to reveal, what he wants them to know. And you're saying Allah is El Hakim, the most wise. So even if you wanted to say there was some information out there, we know everybody should know at least generally the last sermon of Rasul Sallallahu. What did he do at the end? He made the Sahaba swear 3 times. Have I not conveyed the message? Have I not conveyed the message? Yes, we swear you have. Yes, we swear you have. Yes, we swear you have.
mm-hmm.
Rasul Sallallahu conveyed the message. Allah gave Rasul Sallallahu and ordered him to convey every single thing that we need to know that's beneficial to our religion, because he is El Hakim. Yes, there is going to be some things out there that we don't know about. Now, if anybody comes and says, I have something that was not revealed by Rasul Sallallahu that relates to this religion of Islam, what does that remind you of? The arrogance. The arrogance of who? What is this talking about? What gets into? Shaitan. You know what?
Yep.
I know better. I know better. And I have this secret. I have this information, even if you think it's true, which is not true, right? A lot of this is not true. But the arrogance for someone to come and say, I know better than Allah, I'm going to reveal this information to you that's going to help you with your religion. It's really, and it ties right into everything that we're this show is talking about one topic, and we could probably go on for weeks on this one topic. So I just wanted to mention that. I think it's alhamdulillah. These are the signs that, like, Allah gives you a little glimmer of, like, I'm helping y'all out. I'm trying to, like, guide you guys in the right way to give my message, and may Allah continue to allow us to just be these insignificant tools that can get the blessings of conveying Allah's message. I mean,
I mean,
I
Jazakallah.
mean,
All right. So inshallah, I'm trying to share my screen here, or if Jafar can do it. Let's see. Did it go to the
I think you go to sources again, or oh, there you go, got it.
Okay.
So I gotta click it on.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So
Now
assalamu alaikum
can you
everyone.
control it?
Yes, I can control
All
it.
right, here we go. Alhamdulillah.
All right. So I had time on Sunday after work, and I was able to. I spent about 3 hours researching this. So if someone can find more information, by all means, alhamdulillah, Allah bless you for your efforts. But this is what I found on the Lamakhan. Now we may know this from the Jamaat. It's this like super secret place that you can obtain, and I've done a good amount of research on this, as history is kind of my thing. So I've done the history of this, right? So just some basic questions like, what is Lamakhan? Lahut is around obtained by the enlightened. Only pious can attend. Have to be devoid of negative thoughts and actions. So we're gonna cover all of that in today's show, which is solely based upon the Lamakhan. All right.
Mhm.
So the extensive history of the Lamakhan is very well documented. All right. So it dates back to the study of Sufi cosmology, which is essentially the Sufis have their own understanding of how, or I guess interpretation of how like creation happened, and how all the things transpired with Allah creating you and the earth and other souls. Um, and essentially, right, Sultan Bahu, as we all know from the Jama, used to sing it every Friday when they do the roots, Bahu, Siryahu. So he'd be mentioned often, right? So you have some understanding of him. You know that he's considered to be the fifth spark of light. So before Marjolani, Sultan Bahu was precedes him, right? So there is three beings and three realms that you as a person have to annihilate, right? So if you annihilate these three beings, right, these will help you reach your path of attaining Lahut Lamakhan, right?
Mhm.
So your Nasut is your physical body, right? And he describes this as the realm where the soul is like birth, right? So the soul is blown into the body in the realm of Nasut, right? And so he's like, it's crossing a bridge. So it's crossing the bridge from heaven into the physical body. So you have to overcome your physical body, right, and free your soul, right? And then Malakut, right? You have to get control over your emotions, your negative thoughts and actions, and that frees you from your like, I guess, mindful worldly coil thoughts, right? Those things are all gone, right? And then you're in the suit, um, is you reaching to the highest level that you can achieve physically, and then going on from there, right? So those three conditions have to be met, and if you meet these three conditions, you can now get into the spiritual world, basically, right? And so
So real quick,
after,
just to like kind of jump in so people can kind of follow along. Like, always ask the question whenever we're talking about anything, or whatever anybody says anything to you related to Islam, and it could sound nice. Ask them, okay, where did Rasul talk about this? Where is this in the Quran? Okay, it's not in the
okay,
Quran, so it's got to be in a hadith, right? Oh, it's not in a
mhm,
hadith. Okay, did the Sahabas talk about this?
no,
Okay, well, if it's
so
not the Sahabas, then surely the Tabi'in. Well, then
no,
surely the Tabi'in.
no,
And basically, you'll find that when you answer no to all those questions, it should be very clear to you that it's not a part of Islam, because anybody can tell you a nice story. I can tell you how there's this universe, and there's multiple universes of the same thing. And in an alternate universe, my spiritual self double got bit by a radioactive spider, and he swings from buildings and he saves people. And sometimes he comes to my universe and we communicate. It could be a nice story, right? Nice little
hmm
Marvel whole. It's bull. If it is not supported by the Quran and Sunnah, it's something you should stay away from. Okay,
yes,
Rasul
absolutely,
does not
Sheikh,
mention any of these things.
absolutely. And to Sultan Bahu's discredit, he didn't try to actually prove it with the Quran and Sunnah. He kind of just throws it out there haphazardly. And they proclaim Lahut Lamakhan as the realm of absolute unity, right? So Sultan Bahu is saying to you all who read his works that there is a veil between you as a soul and Allah. So you can't physically see Allah. But if you follow
Mhm.
these steps, the veil is lifted and you can become one with Allah, right? So you can be unified and be one being with Allah at the same time, which is
So,
exclusive.
mm,
Oh wow.
if I have a question, so would
Yeah.
they believe that you cannot see Allah,
You cannot see Allah because
but
there
you
is
can become one with Allah?
so
I mean, what's harder? What would be harder? I mean, what would be more like? What's the higher level there? To
uh,
just see something, or to become that thing? If
okay.
you're not able to withstand or to reach a level to where you can even look and see
Yeah.
something.
Hmm.
I mean, to become
Well,
that thing, it doesn't make
got a
sense.
great I got a great analogy, and we all should kind of relate to this. So, in Dragon Ball Z, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes the characters were so powerful that the other characters could not even see them moving and fighting, right?
Hmm.
Until they raised their level up, and then they could see them. Like, oh, my eyes can keep up. I can see them. And in Dragon Ball Z, I know it was very difficult for them to fuse bodies. So, based off our support from Dragon Ball Z, right? Since we're just using any old support,
Hmm.
it'd be more difficult to actually become one with something than to see
Mhm.
it. So why wouldn't a
Well,
person that becomes one with something be able to see what they're becoming one with?
okay. So what Sultan Bahu was saying, Sultan quote unquote was saying is that for everyone else, right? For everyone else, there's a veil between you and Allah where you can't see Allah. But if you reach the state of Lahut Lamakan, right, the realm
Mm,
of absolute unity, the veil is lifted so that you can see Allah and then become one with Him. So it's like again, the realm
Oh,
Lahut means absolute unity, so that you can be unified with God. So
mm.
that is what Sultan Bahu, which again is similar to the stuff we covered in the Black Book in the previous pages about, if you follow Jelani's super secret way, then you too can be the special person, and only select people can enter this realm of Lahut Lamakan, right? We're gonna tell you, right? How does one how does one actually enter the Ramadan and the steps that you have to take, all right, as a pious Muslim, all right, to obtain this unique level, spiritual level that only a select few can enter, all right?
And hold
Um,
up, real quick, just in case, because I can hear the detractors now. You know, um, the Lahut Lamakan it is mentioned on page 10 in the black.
10. Yep. Want me to show it real quick? Let's show. I got it up.
Because
Let me
just so
show you.
they can, well, they, because most of the times when we catch them red-handed, dead to rights with certain information and facts, they always say, well, he didn't say that, Abuji didn't say that. I don't, or they'll say, I never heard that, I never heard him say
Mhm.
that. So let's yeah, there it goes.
there it is. Yeah.
um
Yep. So it says he talks about, he says, this book is also meant for those not satisfied with Islam, blah blah blah. Meaning this book is meant for the dynamic revolutionary spirit which aims to soar high in the uncreated heavens of the uncreated world, Lahut Lamakan, or Lahut, kingdom of God, with their uncreated self.
wow.
So there you go.
Uh,
You have the absolute proof. Who,
okay.
Kingdom of God, Unity of God was they translated to the same thing in
Yep.
the Sufi cosmology story. So uh, those things is what's mentioned here in the Sufi cosmology. But luckily for everyone here, right? Okay, everyone here is special. All right, mashallah. You're good friends at R2F. Alhamdulillah. I have a surefire, 100% guaranteed way to get you to the Hoot Lamakan. All right. If this method does not work for
Uh,
you, I guarantee you I never do a show again. Guaranteed, right? So let's let's get into how will you reach the Hoot Lamakan. All right. First thing first. All right.
Breaking
Um.
news. Breaking.
Yeah.
Okay,
you,
I'm sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
the first thing is
uh,
you have to know where you're going and how to get there. All right. So where is Lahut Lamakan and how does one get there? All right.
Ya Allah. Hmm.
Okay, so you may be thinking like Amr, what are you talking about? What do you mean it's in Pakistan? All right. Yes, the Lahut Lamakhan, as you heard from our uncle, is in
Oh,
Pakistan.
it
All
didn't
right.
play. Play it again. Play it again.
Oh, I didn't play.
I
Okay.
don't think it
Okay.
played.
It did go back. Hold on. Hey. All right. It didn't play for y'all.
There we go.
All right.
I have some breaking news. This just in. Lahut Lamakhan is in Pakistan. I repeat, Lahut Lamakhan is
Ya
in
Allah.
Pakistan.
All right. So, um, um, for anyone that didn't hear it, we'll play it again because this is exclusive information, right?
Allah.
Just acquired. All right. So bring
I
it on.
have some breaking news. This just in. Lahut Lamakhan is in Pakistan. I repeat, Lahut Lamakhan is in Pakistan.
Okay. Okay. So,
Back.
so
The second one, the second one is
It's
too
just-
good. It's in
Yeah, it's the second one.
yo, Allah bless Uncle Ali. Allah bless. All right. All right.
I
So,
mean, I
so
mean,
Lahut
oh
Lamakhan
wow.
actually is in Pakistan. All right. Okay. So get them plane tickets ready. All right, because you're gonna need to fly to Karachi. Right. So if you leave from Dulles International Airport, it's 21 hours, and then and then you land in Karachi. It's a 4 hour ride to Sichan. And then from there, right, you have to travel right from Sehwan to Lahut Lamakhan on foot, by the way, barefoot, 120 miles. All right.
Oh my
Why? Because
God.
this is a pilgrimage, right? Okay. So this pilgrimage, um, this pilgrimage requires you to travel on foot during Ramadan, right? And you travel on foot, you're 120 miles to Lamakhan barefoot, and after you complete this travel, you become a Lahuti, right? That's basically what it means, right?
Oh my gosh.
So, you have now traveled 120 miles. You walk that time or that distance in 14 days or less, right?
So wait a minute.
That's
Wait a
part.
minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Just let me get this straight. So, so when you go make Hajj,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
You like, is there any requirement when you're making Hajj that you got to walk 120 miles to as part of your pilgrimage? What the answer is no. So
Mhm.
how are people like adding these things, and basically you're adding something that it's basically trying to make this place more prestigious than actually Mecca and Medina. Like to get to
This
this
is one.
place, you got to
This is
walk
what
120
Shaitan does.
miles, and
This is what
Barefoot
Shaitan
in the
does.
sun.
hmm
Yeah.
Shaitan does this. Like everything is trying to one up or be better than, get you to think, and this is one of the things where the some of the Christian monks or whatever, they do extreme things, right?
Mhm.
The basics is not enough. You know, just going to Hajj or Umrah is not enough. You got to walk 120 miles barefoot. It's like it doesn't even make sense. But this is not only a way to yeah, without shoes too,
Yeah.
uh, to make you look like a
Very.
fool,
Yep.
oh
Yep.
Allah.
but also get punished in the same time. You got to be an Iron Man. You got to be basically an Iron Man almost to make this journey. I
Mhm.
mean, doesn't make sense.
And the journey happens during Ramadan, so you can't drink water during the day. And during last Lahut Ramadan that they had, right, it was 50 degrees Celsius, so it was 120 degrees Fahrenheit
Oh
for
my
everyone,
gosh.
everyone in America. So you're walking in the hot sun, no water for
They had to
this,
have people dying doing this. Like throughout history, there had to be like multiple
probably
deaths of
so.
people trying to do
Um,
this crap.
yeah, so you have 14
Shaitan
days
just sitting back laughing.
to complete this pilgrimage. But for those of you who are um, risk takers and can want to complete this arduous task, right? Congratulations, all right. You will have now, all right, made it safely to Lahut Lamakhan, all right. So
What
this
the
is
wait? What the?
so
What's the
Going on with my man
what's
under
going
the
on
rock?
with
he is worshiping in the cave, all right. He
Oh
wanted to be
Allah.
more because I watched the video on this, or it was video of this man. He like climbed his way, like crawled his way under the cave to be more and more in the cave. Anyway, so
Oh my goodness.
after your long travel on foot, all right, you can now buy some mango lassi here at the shop, right? And and before you leave, right, you may want to have a souvenir, right, to prove, hey, listen, I was there. I was a Lahuti. All right, they have a whole
Oh
gift
my
shop
god.
right outside of the cave. Right, the cave also has hours, so you can't just go there anytime. The cave the cave closes at like 10 p.m. So after
Wait,
10 p.m., bro, if you got there late, bro, too bad. You better come back in the morning.
wait.
All right,
You're
all
talking
right,
about the
I'm sure.
cave that represents like the oneness with Allah has business hours.
So I'm sure maybe they close at like 10 for cleaning or whatever, freshening up, straightening up the joint, and then they open back up at like 10:45 or something like that. When do they open back up?
Okay, so I believe their exact hours with like 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. So they close at
Wait,
5 p.m. realistically. Hold
So
on.
basically,
I'm gonna go. Hold on.
okay, so right now, like
Yeah.
here, okay, Fajr comes in at 4 o'clock,
Mhm.
where
yeah.
I'm at, and Fajr goes out at like sometimes it's like 5:27. So you mean to tell me a person not only you can't even make tahajjud in Lahut Lamakhan, you can't even do your night prayers, but you might even miss Fajr trying to wait around to make Fajr in Lahut Lamakhan,
Yep.
and some Indian dude guarding the place talking about we're not open yet. come back, come back at 5
Yo,
a.m. They got a security guard,
Uh,
with a
this
whistle
is
and
so
a
obvious. Like, so I don't know if any of you guys know a little bit of the history about like the alleged the house they say that allegedly Rasul was born in, right?
what's up, man?
So there's this house in Mubarak Jalani has videos where he says, yeah, they took the house that Rasul was born in and they made it into a bathroom and all these different like lies about this place. But there is a place that randomly, like hundreds and hundreds, like thousands of years, like we're into the thousands. Someone maybe was just like within the last few hundred years started claiming this is the house where Rasul was born. And it's so obvious that it's a scam, right? Because you make your this is and sorry Indians, this is what y'all are famous for, is making a shrine business. This is what
Mhm.
you guys do. So, and it's like it seems like to me like a competitive thing. Like, oh wait, Mecca has a cave that is significant because we have, Jabal al-Nur, the cave where Rasul Sallallahu got revelation in. People, it's like a tourist site. People going like, oh, let's go see the cave, right? This, I went to go see it. People do go and do like bidda and all types of weird stuff there, which is not legislated. But it seems like someone was like, you know what? They got a cave in Mecca. I, I want to get a cave in Pakistan or in India and make it holy and make it a place you have to walk up and get special blessings and all these different things. It's clearly like just a way for someone that was trying to either get money or get prestige and status through this cave.
So I mean, it's we got more slides or
Yeah.
okay,
We got
okay.
okay. So let's get into the actual reasons why the cave is considered holy, right? So there's 6 reasons as to why the cave is considered holy. One of them is Prophet Adam, right? So some of the Indians or Pakistanis, I guess, believe that Prophet Adam, when he was sent down to earth, actually stayed in the cave of Lahut Lamakhan or like lived there partially, right? So that's
Oh
one of
my
the reasons
gosh.
why. So they believe that
Yeah.
there is a chance that Prophet Adam stayed in this cave, which the cave would be too small. But anyway, it's not the point. Uh, then we have 3 reasons, right? That involve Ali ibn Abi Talib, the fourth Khalifa of Islam. So one of the reasons they believe is that they say that Ali and his family stayed in this cave for some reason, and they believe that there is um, a horse print, right, from the horse of Ali, and a shoe print of Ali, and
Yeah.
that is the reason why they believe that this cave is holy and spiritual. This Lahut thing is mostly practiced by the Shias. So the
Mm,
Shias mostly come and do this, right?
that
The
makes
second
sense.
reason is they believe that Ali came to the cave to evict a giant. So there was allegedly a giant that lived in this cave, right? Okay. Now,
You-
uh,
Hold on. Uh,
yeah.
so you
Astaghfirullah. Ya Allah.
You gotta hate
are
that
you
situation.
telling me
Hmm.
that Ali radiallahu anhu
Yeah.
he left the Arabian Peninsula
Hmm.
because you gotta realize In case y'all didn't hear Unc already, Lahut Lamakhan is
He's
in
in.
Pakistan.
Yep.
So you
He's
mean
walking
to tell
away.
me he left the Arabian Peninsula and went to Pakistan to evict the giant? I mean, and
He wasn't
it's not
worried.
even.
He took a break from like the
Yeah,
fitna and
I
all
mean, he
that
was
to
doing.
go travel.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, bro, uh, and of course, if he did this, no doubt there would be some sort of narrations about it. I mean, there was tons of Sahaba who were still alive. I mean, they would have went with him. I mean, if it's that important, I mean, here he is, the Khalifa, and he's like, oh well, I'm sorry, I know I'm running a Muslim state. I know I'm dealing with all this, all types of stuff he had going on throughout his life. He's fighting the Khawarij. He's doing all types of stuff.
Right.
I mean, he got assassinated walking to Fajr.
Mhm.
That's how he was killed.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, and all the stuff he had going on, he said, you know what? I'm about to go to Pakistan, to a cave in Pakistan, to evict a giant who's in a
Yes.
cave. He's in a
Mhm.
cave. I
Wow.
mean,
So
Get out of that cave, you.
uh, there was one article I was reading.
Where's the giant supposed to go?
yeah,
He can't live in a cave.
the giant is
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
like, yo, I mean, bruh,
It's my
I'm in a
home.
cave.
Leave me alone.
I mean, yo, I'm a giant, okay? I mean, I can see if I'm just marching through people like what's the joke? Attack on Titan. I'm just marching through people's cities, just tearing stuff up. I'm literally just
Yeah.
chilling in a cave. Why am I getting evicted?
Evicted out your cave. So from one of the things I was reading, they believe that this could have been during the Khalifa of Uthman, where Ali wasn't in charge. So
Wait. What about this Goku demon?
I haven't even got that far. He was still the giant.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's one of the things that they believe that it could have been during the time of Uthman's Khalifa, and then he
Oh.
did that. All right. So then, lastly, right, they believe that there was once this Gokai demon, right, which in Indian folklore, the Gokai demon is this like chick that has like different heads and like 70 hands, and she's just like demon, right? So allegedly, right, Ali comes to the cave to defeat this demon, right, and he doesn't actually beat the demon, right? He seals the demon in the cave, right? He seals the demon in the cave for eternity, basically, right?
He hit it
So
with a seal no jitsu chop. Oh my god, y'all love.
okay,
How
so
could
so
y'all?
so
This
he
nigga was like,
Dapper stop, I'm trying to be serious.
Put on a bottle of Flex Seal. Get back.
y'all love.
Okay. So Ali like seals the demon right in the cave, and 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 the demon can't get out, right? So I'm reading this right, this story of him allegedly defeating this Gokai demon right in the cave of Lahut Lamakhan. I'm like, okay, so he defeats the demon and seals it away there in the cave, still alive by the way. Why would y'all then go and worship in that same cave with the demon? Are y'all serious? I was so confused. I was like, what? That's one of the reasons. Are y'all serious?
I mean, yo,
Oh my god.
there's a so hold up. You throw a giant out the cave, but you lock a demon in the cave. And this cave is supposed to be where somehow you reach some sort of oneness with Allah. This Jonas, I mean, this is ridiculous.
That's
Yeah.
what, like, come on, y'all can't be serious. Y'all can't be real quick, right? You guys you see these historical whatever that they're trying to
Fallacies.
associate with this cave, right? Go find one authentic source that even says anything related to these names in India, Pakistan, that area, whatever you want, whatever name they used to refer to it as back then. Find one authentic thing that Khalifa Ali, radiallahu an, was anywhere in the vicinity of India. I don't know of it. Maybe he did. Maybe he did travel there at some point. But please provide the proof.
Okay, Jaffer, that's excellent because that directly ties into the very next point. All right, so allegedly, right, there was this pious Sufi saint, right, whose name was Sayyid Shah Nurani, right, which he has his own shrine where folks go and pay money to go worship at. So anyway, right? So allegedly, right? This person was by three different accounts, right? It was he was either related to uh, the Ahlul Bayt from Ali directly, right? He was related through the Ahlul Bayt through Hazrat Hassan, or he was just a direct descendant of like the Prophet Muhammad. So uh, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this probably wasn't true because there's too many different stories going back and forth. But allegedly, he was this pious Sufi saint, and in his final years, he would go to this cave and worship there and pray there. And because he was so revered and loved, uh, other Sufis and other Indian Muslims would go there as well with him, and then it became the cave of Lamakhan, and folks would go there because it's spiritual now too. Right? So they believe that. And then the last thing I found regarding the cave of Lahut Lamakhan, right, was what was actually before the Shias came and took over this cave, and this is the cave where you would reach oneness with Allah. The Hindus used to use this cave to worship. All right, so
Mm. Oh,
prior to the Muslims, the Hindus actually used to use this cave for the worshiping of their many gods. So
now and then it says the Shiites took over, right?
yeah, the Shiites took over the cave basically.
So look, just think about what's happening here. Just use your common sense politically, right? Hindus before Islam came, Hindus and Buddhists and Sikhs, like they were the power in India. So you have another religious power come into play, and even though it has nothing to do with the religion, you have political people like they recognize it, like there's things of status, certain landmarks, certain things. It's going to say like, no, we're in charge now. We took this over. This is not now. It's not a Hindu holy place. This is now a Shiite Muslim place. Just to let y'all know that we're actually in charge. We took over your holy place. We took over your church. We took over your holy ground, right?
Mhm.
So if this place was holy before Islam came to it, even like Shiites, a lot of Shiites are actually outside the fold. They're not Sunni Muslims, right? Before Islam, anything related to Islam touched this, Hindus already considered it as holy site.
Mhm.
That should tell you something.
Yep. So the crazy thing is, right? And I had this revelation today actually, when I was talking to Jaffar's brother Kawi, was
Mhm.
how basically the whole Lahut Lamakhan story and how you have to overcome these three realms to get to oneness, right? This is basically just a budget version of Buddhism, right? In Buddhism, you have to overcome these similar things to reach enlightenment, right? So there's a story, a classical Chinese fiction tale. It's called Journey to the West. So it's 2,000 pages if anyone's read it. Basically, it's about this monk and his companions, and each of his companions have these trials they have to overcome, which is basically what Sultan Bahu had you overcome. And after his companions overcome like their greed, their like lust, all stuff like that, they eventually reach enlightenment and become one with God, right? So you can see the parallels between Hinduism, Buddhism, and this Lahut Lamakhan. It's
Mhm.
obviously where those two religions started in India. You would see some parallels between that and wherever we are today. All right. So just to clarify, we only have three holy cities in Islam. All right. You don't
How
have to
many
go to
times we got to
Pakistan.
say this? Like,
All right. There is the Kaaba, right? Everyone knows the Kaaba. You're Muslim, you go there for Hajj. There is Medina, right? Masjid Nabawi, we go there for Hajj as well. And Jerusalem,
mhm.
all right? Where the Isra Mi'raj took place, all right? You have to do these places. You're Muslim, all right? You don't have to go to Pakistan and walk 120 miles to on barefoot to become Lahuti,
Mhm.
Lamakhani, and do all this random weird stuff, okay?
And if
Uh,
you travel anywhere else besides these three places, thinking it's like a holy journey or there's some kind of blessing in it, you actually are directly disobeying Rasulullah Sallallahu.
but, yeah.
Yep.
It's one thing to travel for tourism, visit family, vacation, but if you think you're traveling to Pakistan, uh, pick any Turkey,
Mm-hmm.
any Muslim Malaysia, any Muslim country where they're you want to go see the Taj Mahal, nice and beautiful. If you think you're
Yeah.
getting some kind of blessings just from traveling to the Taj Mahal, nada. You're actually getting sins for it. So you have to think about that when these things come up. I don't know how many times we've had a show where you have to keep on mentioning this. It's like a very introductory, basic, fundamental belief in Islam. There's only three places we like make a pilgrimage to or travel to and get blessings for.
And
Yep.
the thing is, the wisdom behind that is Rasulullah Sallam is
So
telling
Islam.
us there is no pilgrimage, no religious pilgrimage to any place except for these three.
Hmm.
Why? Because you have stuff like this. It's people just telling fables, making stuff up,
Yep.
slam a gift shop in there, and then they can not only lead you astray, but also make money off of you.
Yep.
And so this is the thing. It prevents you from having these fairy tale mythical holy sites and places and telling these fabulous stories about how this was a great place and a great saint died here and this and we and making it out to be something grand. And then people they get emotional. They like people like these mystical and mystic type of stuff, and they'll go on this spiritual journey, and because they got a little tired and got dehydrated and their head got light or whatever, they think it's some sort of spiritual enlightenment. But no, it was just you getting tired and thirsty and dehydrated or whatever. But people, they, as human beings, they will do that stuff. They will go on these journeys all over the place, and
Hmm.
Rasulullah is limiting that and saying no, there is no pilgrimage except for these three.
Yep.
Everything else is just for your enjoyment
Hmm.
if you want to enjoy it, but there's no reward for it whatsoever. And if you're going there thinking that Allah is going to reward you as a religious obligation, because some people think this stuff is an obligation, going to see your sheikh,
Yeah.
going to
Hmm.
his shrine, and doing all this stuff is obligation. No, the only thing that will be obligated on you is the punishment of Allah if He so chooses.
Yep.
But there's not going to be anything as far as reward is concerned because Rasulullah already told us you can't do it. So this is the reason why. Because this is not the only shrine. This is
Oh
not
yeah.
the only
Yep.
place on the face of the earth. There's tons of these places.
So
Just
many.
in Pakistan, India alone, there's
Right.
hundreds of these places. It is part of their economy. Just like how we have 7-Elevens, gas stations. Think about gas stations and think about shrines in India.
Yep.
Same exact concept.
And think about it like this, like how we have um, the lottery. Like I don't know if y'all states have the state
Yep.
lottery,
Yeah.
Hmm.
where and it's usually poor people.
Hmm.
Sometimes
Hmm.
I got some coworkers that do it, and they're not poor, but they're poor in the mind. Anyway,
Yeah.
but the point is, it's just like how they they do this. So they have the shrine set up. So poor people, people who are down on their luck, they want some sort of bang for their buck, right? They want to
Hmm.
go and make a dua at this shrine, leave some food, leave some money, and then they hold by not them working harder or them doing something, to get some sort of benefit in their life they're looking at. They want a shortcut. They want to say,
Yep.
well, I want to marry a beautiful girl. I want Fulana to fall in love with me. So they go to the
Hmm.
shrine, they make dua, they do a little leave a little some food there, and they leave some donation, and then they
Hmm.
hope that it happens. So instead of
Hmm.
calling on Allah, asking Allah for it, they may ask Allah for it, but the point is
Yeah.
they're wanting a shortcut, just like the people who play the lottery. They'll
Yep.
Yep.
take their $5, they'll stop at the
And
gas
they're
station, play the
usually
lottery.
ignorant.
Yeah,
Like
they're-
they
yeah,
don't know like the poor people that are going to buy these. They don't have the knowledge to realize like there's no chance you're winning.
Yep.
There's no chance you're
Zero.
winning.
and
Wasting all of their money.
yeah,
Because then you have, like you said, you have the rich people. I know there's people that actually have money that do it because it's an addiction
yeah,
Yep.
and like an
mhm,
entertainment form. They're addicted to
exactly,
that
yeah,
feeling. Like I actually worked in a convenience store where this guy he had to have money. He would come every week Sunday morning and buy like $500 in lottery tickets,
mm,
and he would win big sometimes. Spend $500. Sometimes he'd win like $1,000. He would take the money that he won and then buy more lottery tickets.
Reinvest.
Every
Yeah.
Sunday he would do this. It's like, okay, he has money, but he's obviously it's the addiction, it's the feeling. But like these poor people, they're ignorant, and the people that set these up, they prey on their ignorance and they prey on their hope for getting something better. And if you look at that, it's exactly what Mubarak Jelani came to the United
mhm,
States of America and did exactly
Yep.
with the people of the Dar al Islam that chose to follow him. They were looking, they were ignorant, They were looking for a shortcut, right? And they thought like, oh, you know what? We don't have to learn our deen. It's all in this black book. We
Hmm.
have the perfect shake. We're guaranteed paradise. We are good. We don't have to do nothing else. We don't got to seek knowledge. We don't got to send our kids overseas to go to accredited Islamic schools. We don't have to do all these different things. We are good. We're already the best on earth. We're saved. And some people still, to this day, unfortunately, have that same mindset that when they die, that they're guaranteed paradise.
Yep.
And a lot of them are in this what they call the sunken cost fallacy, right? I
Mm,
don't know if you're
Yeah.
familiar with the sunk cost
yep.
fallacy, where you put so much time, money, or energy into something, whether it be a relationship, being in a cult, following a sheikh, or something like that, and it's almost like because of the commitment and the investment you put into it,
Hmm.
you're like, this has to work. It has to. I put too
Yeah.
much into it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a real feeling, but it's like this show today. I mean, it's a little bit light, but the thing is, it's actually very heavy
Hmm.
because Lahut Lamakhan is, they have the songs and everything from the suit to Melakut to something to Jabrut or whatever,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
one of the
Hmm.
girls was singing. I can't remember how it goes, but the point is, this stuff is coming back to my mind how much Lahut Lamakhan was mentioned, and that's the only thing we knew. We knew the name, right?
Yep.
But and that was enough. We didn't never like until doing this show. I never thought to Google Lahut Lamakhan. I never thought
Hmm.
to look it up on the internet or actually research like what is it. I just like whatever Abuja said. My only thought in my mind was that if I wanted to know anything about Lahut Lamakhan, well, I would ask the K2 or some Khalifa
Hmm.
or the Shura Council or somebody, and then they would say, well, Abuji said, or they would ask him or something like that. I never even had the thought that I could
Hmm.
even ask Jelani directly.
Right.
Hmm.
Not a question like
Yeah.
Yeah.
asking them questions directly. But the point is, like, this is something that now that people are realizing, wow, this is actually a joke. The first thing that comes to people's minds is, let's reject it. No, no, I can't accept that.
Hmm.
The whole concept, Lahut Lamakan, that place that I thought was something magnificent, the joint was a fable. It was a made up joint
Hmm.
from the Hindus that
Hmm.
then the Shias jumped onto. That then, because in 1980 or whatever, no one from America would have had a clue
Yep.
that not only was the word Lahut Lamakan not even Arabic and that it didn't have anything to do with Islam, but they wouldn't have had a clue that it was actually a cave in Pakistan
Well,
that was a Hindu shrine at one point
well,
in time.
check this out. Check this out. This is how it, it's funny, but at the same time it's sad, and at the same time it kind of pisses you off a little bit. Because when you think about these games that this shaitan is playing in Arabic, what does la makan mean?
No
No
place.
The
place.
place. Yeah.
Mhm.
It does. Literally in the name says it's no place. It does not exist.
Yep.
Literally in the name in Arabic, it means this place does not exist.
Mm, mm,
I mean, it's laughable.
yeah.
It's laughable, and
Yeah.
And so, and if you
God,
think, I guarantee you, most of the people who will listen to this, if they're listening now, they never thought in their mind that they ever would actually reach or be in Lahut Lamakan. They thought, well, yeah, my shit can go there or whatever. But
hmm
yeah, I remember saying we would laugh, we would laugh and joke about Lahut Lamakan and say
hmm
we would say like someone who was trying to be super super holy or whatever, we would call them Lamakan man or Lamakan boy or whatever.
Lahuti now.
yo, y'all was wild that day.
But I mean, it's like it's sobering because I was like, yeah, I remember it's like thinking, okay, well that's a joke, and it's unfortunately we got family members even today that really have some sort of inkling that is actually a place or
Yeah.
something of any significance
Yeah.
whatsoever, and
Here,
it's just not.
let me
It's really
actually
not.
break this
But
down
just
a little bit. Oh,
one
go ahead.
one one last thing. So I
Hmm.
have one last slide, which is 4 and 2 more Barkulani, and all you people team away. This is called a works cited page. All right. So this is what you have when you get all your sources and you use all the information here is right here. So anyone wants to look it up, they can read any sources that I have, and you can find information I found. All right. That's all.
Mm.
That's all I have for today.
So I'm, we're so there. A
That's
lot of what they're gonna say is
sultanbahu.net, man.
Yeah, so Yahoo.net, man. The official,
a
yeah,
lot of people
official
listening to this
source.
will try to say like, oh, they don't understand, they lack knowledge, they don't know what Lahut Lamakhan really is. They focused on the cave or whatever, right? But no, we do understand what it is, and we're giving it to you very simply. What Lahut Lamakhan is, according to extreme Sufism, right, is a person enters into a place inside of Allah,
Hmm.
hence becoming one with Allah.
Yep,
And now think
absolute
about
unity.
this. Allah never stops being Allah. This is one of the logical things that we use to refute Christians, right? When they say Jesus is the Son of God or God on earth, and he was a human at that point, and then he, was his physical form, and then, at that point he wasn't the Father God. No, it doesn't make any sense. According to Islam, Allah is Allah, will always be Allah, always was Allah, and always will be Allah. Now think about this. With this understanding that these extreme Sufis have, they believe that a person can enter into Allah, become one with Him. When you become one with something, you become that thing. So basically, they're saying you can become Allah and then leave Allah to come back to handle your worldly duties. Then, when you're done with that, you go back to Allah.
Hmm.
So they're basically saying you could do, you're gonna be doing something that Allah does not do.
Mhm.
Become Allah, not become Allah. Like, and if you can't see the similarities between this, the deviations that the Christians made, the deviations that a lot of these other made up religions do, where they talk about becoming divine and all these
Yep.
different things, then you're really losing the plot. You're losing it, and Shaitan is just playing with you.
Yep.
So now it should be crystallizing in the people's minds and understand, because when Ja'far first did the breakdown of the Risala Ruhi, and one of the points was that Sultan Bahu was saying it is appropriate or it's okay for you to call them Allah.
Yep.
And,
Mhm,
basically, and so people were saying, oh no, you got the translation wrong, or they were saying that you don't understand, and this is, Abuji never said that, but understand this understanding. How can it be anything else? This is what it leads you to, because
mhm,
number one, Allah is who He is. He's complete.
Hmm.
yep.
If you it's just common sense. If you add, you
Mm,
take something that's not part of Allah, this book is telling you how to reach this level. So even if you're
mhm,
looking at this book and say, well, I'm not at that level right now, this book is telling you that you can reach a level in which you can become one with Allah.
Yep.
Now, if Allah is complete and you are being added to, then that means you have increased Allah in some way. In some
mhm.
way, you have increased Him by your presence there. And so that in and of itself is
Ya
shirk,
Allah.
is
Yep.
kufr,
Oh, that's deep.
okay? And it's not even, you're outside of Islam if you believe that.
Hmm.
So that's number
Think
one.
about what you just said though. Like,
Yeah.
because what you're saying is Allah one is not perfect right now.
Yep. Because things are
Because if I
happening.
could follow this and I could achieve this, that means Allah was not perfect because He's not complete without
Hmm.
me adding to that mix,
They're going
right?
to come
And
back. They're going to,
now not being perfect, you're also saying He's dependent on us humans to
To get
achieve
reach
this
the
level
level.
so
Yep.
that He could become perfect and full. And,
and you know
yo,
what they're going to
Absolutely
say?
crazy.
No, they're going to say, no, 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 no. Law is already perfect. And you becoming part of Allah was always, this is part of His perfection or whatever. And this is why they say that they believe that it's appropriate to call them Allah.
mm,
Hmm.
Because if a person, and this is what they're going to say, if a person is able to, Allah already knew who could reach that level or not. And Allah that's already, so these people are, in fact, you can call them Allah. That's why they believe that. And so these seven sultans, they're like, okay, yeah, that's a given.
Hmm.
But some of you regular folks, you can get to that level. So they already believe two things that's going to take them all the way out of Islam. Either they believe
ya
that they can
Allah.
increase Allah, they can join with Allah, or they believe that they're right now, even though they're walking around this earth, urinating, defecating, eating, drinking,
Ya Allah.
sleeping, getting sick, or whatever, that they're part of Allah.
Mm.
Hmm.
Okay, so I have a question for everyone who is part of the naysayers, right? And let's just say that you guys believe this, right? If you're Sheikh Mbarkulani or any of these previous sheikhs, Sultan Bahu, whoever, right? If these people reach paradise, why would they ever come back to the dunya? Why would they ever come back to Earth and say, you know what, I'm here to help you guys get here too? That's belief. If I Amr could leave this show right here and be like, okay, I'm going right to paradise. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm gone. Bye.
Yeah.
I'm never coming back and doing the show again. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to Earth. What?
Hmm.
Are you serious? Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave paradise to
Think
go be
about
back on
this.
Earth
A
again?
person that has the ability, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, but
Okay.
just for the sake of argument, a person who has the ability to become one with Allah, why are you ever coming back to
Yeah.
just being a dude
Yeah.
again? I mean, like,
Mhm.
Why?
for what?
I, I'm 44 years old. My body hurts. My knees hurt. I tried to exercise and I pulled my hamstring. Why? Why would anybody come back to that?
You wouldn't.
And these are the same people. Hold up. These are the same people that claim that they are here in this world. They're not after money or anything worldly. They're not after Jannah. They don't want no rewards. Only thing they want is Allah.
Oh,
My
Allah.
nigga, I mean, you
No, it's
You had it.
logic.
allegedly reached the
Yep.
stage.
Yep.
So what are you
Yeah.
doing back here?
Why are you
You know?
coming back?
Yeah. I mean, it's
That's
I'm
like saying,
saying, bro.
like, yeah, my only goal is to just, get married and have a house and get a job, and I just want to live life, right? Then you get that. Meanwhile, this dude's hitting the club every night.
Yeah.
He's DMing chicks. He's snorting coke. He's doing drugs. Like, yo, dude, you said you only wanted this.
He
Why are
lied.
you go? Why are you running away from that? It's no matter what way you look at these things, if you just use a little common sense, if you open
Mhm.
up your heart, right, turn off your hatred for us, right, turn off the fact that that you invested so much time, money, effort, generations, multiple generations into this thing, and really think about, like, wait a minute, you know what, someday I'm going to die,
Mhm.
and I'm either going to go to heaven or go to hell.
Yep.
That's it.
Mhm. And
And what evidence here that is being presented to you aligns with the message of Islam that is going to get you closer to going to heaven?
mhm. And to piggyback off what Jaffer said, especially because listen, uh, death is short, so everyone dies, right? But for you old heads who are still alive, right? You've been knowing about these secrets and this passageway and stuff. And if you follow this book here, you get there. It's been 40 years. You haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
Like, are you just like can you just like not read? Do you not know how to follow the steps? Or
Mhm.
is it that the steps don't work? Is it that you've been taking on this long ruse for 40 years and actually all you have to do is go to Pakistan and find a cave? So like,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what to tell you. Like, it clearly isn't working.
I mean,
No,
40,
it's
40,
really
40
it's
years. Mm, go ahead.
no. But I mean, inshallah, if anybody has any questions, we're gonna kind of wrap it up. I got some hadiths that I wanted to prepare something, but I had short time, but it actually works out better this way
So,
because I'm just gonna read the hadiths. I'm just gonna read the hadiths, and we could maybe chime in if something comes to us while I'm reading these hadiths. But I'm hoping that this reading these, hearing the words of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam
so
can spark something in people's hearts, because Amr just mentioned one of the older people of the Jamaat, the founding fathers, the founding mothers. If you are watching this, if you watch any of this, it is now incumbent upon you to speak out, at least to your immediate family, and say, yes, this is false. I recognize it now. Do not follow this. I told y'all wrong. You can't sit in the background and just say, like, oh, they're going to figure it out. I'm not on it anymore, but it'll all work out in the end because we still love the Jamaat. We still love our community. We still love going to the Eids and all these different things. No, because the reason why you're your child, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren are all in this is because of you.
Hmm.
And if you don't speak out against this, you are going to be part of the people that are going to be held accountable for people following falsehood. You're going to be held accountable for their bad deeds as a result for this and your own. So,
And just one more thing. I mean, I know some people are gonna try to hang on to some little. I don't know how you can hang on to believing that anyone who has mentioned Lahut Lamakhan to you as being a truthful, a trustworthy person. This person is a
mm,
charlatan. Anyone who presented this concept to you, um, they're either incredibly ignorant. But think about this: the fact that this uh, sheikh happened to have been born in India, because that's where he was born, in India. He was an Indian. And then
mhm,
Pakistan is a name that if they named the place something else
Europeans. Yep.
after that. Okay, they
1942
split
or
the
seven.
country, the British, and they put Bangladesh over there. India stayed here, Pakistan over here. But the point is the thing when Allah says, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا, told him all the names. So you have to understand, Pakistan wasn't some magical, majestic name that, when Adam alayhi salam came down and said, Pakistan there. No, this was a name that was given in 1947.
Yep, by the
Some of our
British.
parents were born before that.
Hmm.
So this is
mhm.
something new, number one. And do you think it's just a coincidence that originally an Indian man who, okay, now he's a Pakistani, whatever, that this mystical place just happened to be where he's telling you Lahut Lamakhan and this is Kingdom of God. It just happens to be in Pakistan.
Yeah.
It just happens to be in Pakistan, and
Yep,
he's there, part of his culture
where
and
he's
some
from. Yep.
fairy tale from where he's from. But he knows you're
Mhm.
not from there, and you don't know anything about it, so he can tell you anything. Do y'all have any friends who are foreigners or whatever? Maybe they just got here, maybe first generation, second generation.
Mhm.
Most of the time, second generation, they kind of know like American culture and different things. But
Yeah.
it's
Right.
people that first get to this country and they don't really understand. Like you can almost tell them anything, and they
Hmm.
like,
Yep.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
makes sense to me. Yep.
they believe it. They're
Yep.
very trusting. They be getting ripped off and all types of stuff. Like yo, that ain't gonna
They don't
fly.
have a yeah, they don't have a clue. They
Yep.
really don't have a
Same
clue.
thing. Same thing. This is why he does not have a TMOAP, Pakistan. There
Yep.
ain't one. Because if he tells some Pakistani, I can take you to a little Hoot Lama Khan, he said, what? Already been. We went there on the same vacation,
Yep.
in 1982.
I traveled
We
on
already
foot.
went.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you?
He can't tell
Oh
them that.
man.
He can tell you that because it's like, oh wow, Lahut Lama Khan. Really,
Mhm.
and it's like and for the people that learned Arabic, they're quickly enough, this Joan is like it's not even Arabic, and even if you say just like Jaffa pointed out, it means no place. If you want to put it in Arabic, there ain't no
Yeah.
place.
Yep.
This thing, so you really have to instead of saying, man, all these different coincidences happen to be lining up. Oh, this just it's just you people are so critical or whatever. It is just a coincidence.
Yep.
There's too many coincidences.
Yep. In a
Yep.
row.
He just
Yep.
happens to be a Pakistani and
Yep.
finds basically that's like me telling a person, yo, that's never been to America, doesn't speak English, know nothing about English, and I'm like, yo, I can take you to a magical place. You know what I mean? They got mermaids with red hair. uh they got like a Persian dude with a little monkey or whatever, and he got a flying carpet or whatever. I know I can take you to a place or whatever, and I'm talking about
Yeah.
Disneyland or whatever.
Yep.
Right? You don't know Disneyland is actually just a resort. It's just a place
Yep.
for
Yeah.
people to go to for
Anybody can
vacation.
go. Yep.
And he's like,
Yeah.
wow, really, man? They got this and they got all these
Yep.
different things you can look. And I'm just telling you about different things in Disney movies or whatever. This is the equivalent of what y'all got. What happened? I mean, I don't say y'all, us.
Yeah.
We all got run with this joint. I
Hmm.
mean, he basically
Like you
took
said,
a
how many
table.
everything in Jelani's message from the very beginning, from 1980 all the way to the day he died and beyond, is all been about self promotion.
Yep.
This he we'll get to this at some point in the book where he talks about if 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 Mecca is where if the Kaaba is where the house of if the Kaaba is the house of Allah, then Pakistan is where Allah never left or Allah lives or something like that. I was like, what? Really? You're comparing Pakistan to the Kaaba when you had these alleged miracles in TMOA? Oh, okay. What does it mean? It means you're the blessed Jamaat and I'm the perfect Sheikh. Oh, okay. Where's the most holy place in the world? Oh, it's right here in Pakistan. Right? It's right here. Like everything is about just self promotion, right? Just self promotion. That's all it is. And if you can't see it, you're really just not trying to see anything besides the delusion that's in front of you. And it reminds me of that documentary. I think it was Kumar, I think, but it was basically a guy, an Indian guy, who said he started off the show. It was on Netflix. You can probably find it on YouTube or something. He started off the show saying, "I'm gonna act like I'm a spiritual leader. It's all fake. I'm gonna see how many people I could fool." And he went through a whole show, got followers, dozens of followers, and the whole show built up to where he was gonna reveal to them that, hey, yo, this was fake. This is a social experiment. Even after he told them, I'm fake, I've been gassing y'all, I've been fooling y'all, there was like 3 or 4 people were like, nah, I know you're holy, I know you're real. And he's like, no, dude, like I'm fake.
Yeah.
I was born in New Jersey. Because he was speaking with the accent and everything, like, you must purify yourself. Then he was speaking, I have something to tell you. I'm from New Jersey, y'all. And it was like,
Oh my God, y'all
and
lost.
they still refused to believe that he was fake. Still refused.
Listen, I'm just gonna say what I say almost every show. This is the litmus test. Just go to your local masjid and say it out loud.
Hmm.
Actually, go to your closest friend. You might not even have a close friend, but just any acquaintance or friend or somebody that you know outside of TMOA that's a Muslim, and
Hmm.
tell them what you believe about your sheikh, your community, and all these things, and just see what they say. You won't be able to do it, but if you do, you'll be like, damn, they saying the same. They wouldn't you want y'all part of R2F or something?
Yep.
No, it
Well,
ain't an R2F
this
thing. It's just anybody you
perfect
Character.
tell
segue.
this, they're gonna say the same things we're saying.
I got a perfect segue for that because that was perfect. So let's look at this. So one of our 2F members, one of our 2F staff, sent an email, very short email, to Sheikh Uthman. You guys might know him. You should know him. He's all over YouTube. He gives dawah. He's from San Diego. He gives dawah to Christians. He totally destroys them when he's having the conversations. Hundreds and hundreds of people are taking shahada and becoming Muslim because of the dawah he gives. He's traveling now, not only in San Diego. He's been in New York City. He's been in England. Like he's traveling all over. Alhamdulillah. His organization is One Message Foundation. We sent the email to him and his organization, just a brief one, little brief description about TMOA with only 2 pages from this book.
Hmm.
2 pages from this book. This is someone that they don't know R2F. There's no bias, right? And these organizations, these people, they're very careful about how they respond to people because people message them to try to manipulate them to try to get whatever they self-serving want. So they're very careful about how they respond to things, right? They're not just going to come off and say, "Yeah, F that." You know, they're going to be very careful.
Hmm.
Well, here was their response after one email and 2 pages of this book. This is an outside source, just like if you would have went to your local masjid. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brother, this is obviously a cult. This is obviously a cult. This is obviously a cult. May Allah protect you and your family and grant you barakat. We only understand and follow the religion based on the Quran and Sunnah, based on the understanding of the righteous predecessors. One Message Foundation. It's very clear, y'all.
Hmm.
Everybody that you go to, even if you go to your local church, go to your local church and start telling them some of your beliefs. They're gonna be like, "Yo, y'all a
Are
cult."
you?
I
Yeah.
know more. I know they'll probably know more about Islam to tell you like that's not is any Islam I heard of.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mm. Very,
Absolutely
very
crazy.
simple. So just I'm gonna start pulling some hadiths. If you guys have questions, type them in the chat. We'll try to address them. I know we had one thing we probably have to address about the whole laughing issue, which we can kind of put to bed as we usually do. But the first thing I'm going to share is we mentioned how Sultan Bahu said it's okay to
Absolutely
refer
okay to call them
to,
a law. Yeah, yeah,
it's okay to call them Allah. Well,
yeah.
this is what Rasul said. Okay, and if anybody was, he's the epitome of human creation. He's the perfection of human creation, right? The best amongst us. He said, "Do not exaggerate in praising me as the Christians praise the Son of Mary." Remember, the Christians said the Son of Mary was God. For
Hmm.
I am only a slave. So call me the slave of Allah and his prophet, his Rasul, his messenger. So did Rasul say, it's okay to call me God? No, he said, call me the slave of God. Okay. The next hadith I have is, and all you have to do is go to sunnah.com. It's a compilation of they're still adding as we speak, but they have Sahih Muslim, Sahih Bukhari. They have the
Tirmidhi, yeah,
Sahih Sita on there. You
yeah.
can search all the hadiths. You can search in English. You can search in Arabic. Right, go in there and just type in innovation. Type in innovation and just read the hadiths. You'll get hadiths that are in all these compilations. Some are sahih, some are weak, but just read through them and it should give you an idea of the Islamic stance related to innovation, related to bid'ah. And I'm just going to read them. Okay. And if anyone wants to chime in, just go ahead and chime in. Rasulullah said, among those in charge of you after I'm gone will be men who extinguish the sunnah and follow innovation. They will delay the prayer from its proper time. I said, O Messenger of Allah, sallam, if I live to see them, what should I do? He said, you ask me, O Ibn Abd, what you should do? There is no obedience to one who disobeys Allah. So you don't obey leaders that follow innovation. So none of you in TMOA should be following any of your leaders because they follow and promote innovation. Another hadith. Rasulullah said, Allah will not accept any fasting, prayer, charity, Hajj, Umrah, Jihad, or any other obligatory or voluntary action from a person who follows innovation, bid'ah. He comes out of Islam like a hair pulled out of dough. Like, just think about it. So all those you're like, well, they do a lot of good things. There's a lot of good in the Jamaat. Obviously, there's actually not because they're following innovation. Allah said, or Rasul said that
Awesome.
none of that, Allah will not accept any of it. Right? Rasul said, Allah refuses to accept the good deeds of the one who follows innovation until he gives up that innovation. So here, I had a discussion with one individual that said that whoops, I didn't share the stat. I had a conversation with an individual that was trying to say that only the people that actually create the innovation are responsible for it, not the people who follows them. But Rasul clearly says in this hadith and the one I just read, those who follow innovation. So all the people that are following Mubarak Jalani and Sultan Bahu and all these other deviants and innovators, you are also in that category.
Hmm.
This is in Mishkat Masabi. In reference to Mishkat Masabi, Mubarak Jalani said, every leader in TMOA should have this book because this is the book that we follow. It's a compilation of hadiths by Imam Bukhari. Rasul said, this is a very deep one. Even it's a Hassan hadith, but Rasul said, he who honors an innovator has assisted in undermining Islam.
Mm.
So just think about that. You want to go and honor these leaders, honor these people. You people, and this ties into like, oh, they're laughing and this and that because you hold honor for these people. You hold honor for these people that are actually assisting and undermining Islam. Okay.
And a thing to add to it is that um, how when you honor the innovator, it insists in undermining Islam because what is innovation? It's Rasulullah says that every innovation leads you astray. Astray from what? Surat al-Mustaqim, from Islam. So
Yes.
that is undermining Islam, leading you away from it, taking the feet out from under Islam and leading people out of Islam and in a different direction. That's what innovation is. Now, when you honor the innovator, right? oh, Sheikh so and so, and some people will tell us, man, listen, I know that it is wrong, but we still have to, there's a certain way that we got to do things, or we got to honor them. They want to still give them their clout, their flowers or whatever,
Hmm.
and show them respect, and saying, well, and someone told me, well, Jelani, he's still a man, and he passed away now, whatever. So no, he doesn't get honored because the innovation and us, if we are to prop him up on a level and show him to be respected and someone who should
Hmm.
be at least followed in some things, and then maybe we just try to tippy toe and go around some of his major mistakes,
Yep.
and then that will keep people attached to him and following him,
Yep.
and the innovation is what is undermining Islam.
Yep.
So this is very clear. So a lot of those people who are saying to themselves, and sometimes to us and out loud, they say, well, I know this isn't true, TMOA. I
Hmm.
know it's a fraud. I know it's a cult. I know it. But they're still honoring them, showing up at their gatherings, within them, to those people who, and there's some people that, alhamdulillah, they do uh some good works, and they say all the right things, but they're still honoring them by how, when people mention our names, right? If someone mentions Jafar, they know 100%. Talk to Jafar about TMOA, he's going to give you that work. You're
Hmm.
not going to walk away thinking that you're, free. You ain't going to get free. They won't talk to me. They will run the other way.
Hmm.
Not to try to build ourselves up, but they're not going to come to Amar's house and be like, yeah, my sheikh said. They know that what's going to happen. they
Yep.
know you're going to get a certain level of, we're going to tell you the truth about this thing.
Yep.
But if you're a person who's still able to go back and forth, yeah, I'm completely out of that jump. I don't believe in it, whatever. But when you show up, you can go to their weddings, you can go to their functions, you can do all that stuff. You're
Hmm.
honoring them
Yep.
because
Yep.
you're not speaking out, and you're undermining Islam,
Hmm.
and
Yep.
you're not honoring Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
So
and
it's
you're not honoring Allah, because Allah is saying something opposite to what they say and do. And Rasulullah says the opposite of what they say and do.
Mm.
So where is your allegiance? Is your allegiance to yourself? You know that they're not right. But
Yep.
you know what? I want to have this two-way go.
Yeah.
I want to be able to, still have access.
Yep.
So for your access, and you got it, but you're undermining Islam. This hadith applies to the people who know more so than the people who are, are there, because they are.
Yep.
Some people is like, yeah, I don't believe nothing you're saying. The people that
Yep.
know that it's right what we're saying, and people that know that it's wrong what Timo is doing, but still want to have that ease of access, you're undermining Islam.
Yep.
I mean, yep, absolutely true. And just to piggyback off what Mubarak and Jaffer said, for anyone who thinks that, like, okay, after someone passes away, or whatever, then you have to give them disrespect, no matter what they did. Are people familiar with Musaylama al-Kadhab, Musaylama the liar, which
Mm.
what he did? And if you haven't,
Mhm.
go after the show, you guys can go research the Ridda Wars, which happened
Mhm.
after passing the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So he is known as Musaylama the liar. They don't call him, oh, Musaylama the once Muslim who after a while, he just said, you know what, I'm a prophet too. No, he's known as Musaylama the liar. He
Does
didn't
does
get
does anybody know Abu Jahal's real name?
no.
Most people will not. I can't say it off time. He's Abu Jahal forever. He will be known as Abu Jahal,
Mhm.
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Did they give her? Oh, he's passed away. He can't talk. No, we have hadiths. We have ayats in Quran that are forever preserved,
I mean, that would be
talking
like
about the
us saying,
misguidance.
Musaylama, the Sahabi who, or
Yeah.
let's say Musaylama, the Arab who lived during the time of Rasulullah, who made a few mistakes, and he said a few things that were
Yeah.
Here and
inaccurate.
there. Yep.
Yeah,
No.
he had a few inaccurate statements,
Hmm.
Yep.
but he was a leader. He had a lot of followers and everything, and he you know he was religious.
Hmm.
I
Mhm.
mean, that will be that's the equivalent of what some people are doing with Jelani. They know
Yep.
it's not true. And
Yep.
Yep.
was Musaylima religious? we don't even know necessarily, but he definitely was saying that he was a religious leader. So that
Yep.
would be like a way to twist it. Yeah, he was a
Yep.
religious, and he had a few
Well,
statements that were inaccurate.
I'm about to
He
think
say
made a few
about it.
mistakes. Yeah,
Think about
but
it. He only claimed he was a
he's a
prophet.
prophet.
You have these dudes
True.
claiming they're a law.
Exactly. So it's
yeah,
much
exactly.
worse. Much worse. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Um. Yeah. So like.
I have a couple more hadiths
Yeah.
here, because we're trying to get a couple questions, so we're trying to address them. But listen to this one. So like this kind of ties into what we're talking about. This is from Ibn Umar, who said so and so sends his salam. So it was narrated from Nafi that a man came to Ibn Umar and said, so and so sends his salam to you. He said, I have heard that he has introduced innovations into Islam. Have heard that he has introduced innovations to Islam. So, for any of the people that are out there that think like this big focus on bid'ah and innovation is something that was just like recently started by like Wahhabis and Salafis, no, this dates
No.
back to the Sahabas and Rasulullah.
Yep.
So he said, if he has indeed introduced innovations, then do not convey my salam to him.
Mm.
Mm.
For I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say,
Listen.
there will be among my nation or among this nation transformations, the earth collapsing, and qadf that was concerning Ahl Qadar. So he, you could see here that people of innovation, they actually lose certain rights that are granted to Muslims that are not involved in innovation. You see, it's very clear. Salams, right?
Yeah.
Returning salams is a right of a Muslim. And Ibn Umar did not say, "Oh, that person's not a Muslim. Do not convey my salam." He said, "No, if that person's an innovator, do not return my salam to him."
Salams.
Why? Because a salam, returning salams, is a form of honoring
Another Muslim.
somebody.
Yep.
Mhm.
Go back to the other hadith. Why Ibn Umar, he understands the teachings of Rasul and understands that, you know what, if I return my salams to him, I'm honoring this person of innovation, this innovator, and if I do that, I'm undermining Islam.
Mm-hmm.
So any honor, like there is, of course, there's discretion when you're dealing with people directly, and you're trying to give dawah and you're trying to reach them, but we do not avoid the truth, because what is our duty? Our duty is to convey the message. So if you are holding back the truth for fear of you might offend them, for fear that they might stop talking to you, for fear that it's going to like create a division, at the end of that conversation, you have to ask yourself, did I deliver the message? I had a whole conversation with somebody that was trying to say it was you should not refer to people of innovation as innovators. You should just refer to them as Muslims. So
Okay.
then I asked, like, okay, so what do you refer to the Muslims who don't innovate? Oh, Muslims. What have you just done? You have just undermined Islam
Yep.
Mhm.
because you gave honor to innovators. You gave them the same honor that you gave to the people who don't innovate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's very clear. Like, this is not rocket science. We're not scholars here. We're not high level students of knowledge. We're not giving you any information that needs like some kind of giant, big volume tafsir to understand. It's
Yep.
very clear. It's very clear. The
Very
last one I
basic.
wanted to share is it's a longer one, but I'll read it. It says that I and Ashtar went to Ali, radiallahu anh, and said to him, did the Messenger of Allah sallallahu
So
give you any instruction about anything for which he did not give any instruction to the people in general? So this right here is a good one because it refutes not only innovation, it actually refutes this idea that there's secrets in Islam.
Mm-hmm.
They're asking very clearly, because if they're Khalifa Ali is very close. He's part of Rasul's family.
Yep.
He's married to his daughter. So the person is thinking like, yeah, there might be something that like some kind of secret information that he gave to Ali, his cousin, his son-in-law, that he didn't tell the regular people. And then Ali, radiallahu anhu, said no. And if you there's longer narrations where basically Ali got very upset, visibly upset that this person actually thought that Rasul
Listen.
revealed to him something that he didn't tell everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, no, except what is contained in this document of mine. Musaddad said, he then took out a document. Ahmed said, a document from the sheath of his sword. It contained The lives of all the Muslims are equal. They are one hand against others. The lowliest of them can guarantee their protection. Beware, a Muslim must not be killed for an infidel, nor must this is like so these are like fiqh rulings. Nor
Yeah.
must one who has been given a covenant be killed while his covenant holds. If and then here there's the part that's applicable to innovation. If anyone introduces an innovation, he will be responsible for it. If anyone introduces an innovation or gives shelter to a man who introduces an innovation in religion, he is cursed by Allah, his angels, and by
Mm,
all the people. How many of y'all are giving shelter to innovators right now? May Allah
mm.
protect us.
I mean, and
Mm.
just to piggyback one last thing real quick, for folks that say you guys are too harsh on Mubarak Jelani or the innovators, you guys wouldn't say this to a Christian or someone like that. Absolutely not. Because as Muslims, you're supposed to know better. You are supposed to come from a position of authority, knowledge, and power above every other religion because you are on the correct path. So if a Christian's astray, right, and you're giving them dawah, then yes, you're trying to get them to the point where they're Muslim. For Mubarak Jelani and any of the other innovators, you're supposed to already be Muslim, so you should already know you're wrong. So you have to be dealt with harsher than a non-Muslim that happens to be astray, because they are like, yeah, we already know he's Christian or he's Buddhist, he's astray. But if you're Muslim, if you're claiming to be Muslim, you're claiming to be part of the Jama'ah, Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, then obviously you have to get dealt with much harsher. All right. And last thing I would say for this show, listen, you guys have been complaining about us laughing for about 2.5 years now. All right. um, it's not going to stop because some of the stuff has to be laughed at. There's no way that we can get you the show seriously when for 40 years it's been this spiritual place and the whole time it's a cave. So if if you if the only thing you get from our shows after watching it is you guys laughed at this point, cool. But what do we say? Are you disagreeing with what we say? No, you're just saying that we laughed. So part of you knows that this is true. This is 100% factual. This cave is in Pakistan. I gave you the work side of stuff. Cool. Besides that, you had no legs to stand up on. All right, leave this behind. You're in the twilight of your life. You're hanging on by a thread. Just let it go. Just let it go. All right, because
And my
we're
and
gonna.
my thing is this, and this has been my position from the very beginning. And I believe all the evidence supports this, and even just reading the hadiths now is that when you actually treat something serious that is actually ludicrous, you are actually like giving it too much props. You're actually giving it credence when it shouldn't be credence to, right? So if someone is literally talking to me about the Marvel multiverse and how Thor is going to come down with his hammer and the Hulk, Green Hulk was in his house, if I'm in there like, okay, well, how tall was the Hulk? Did you say anything to him? What about Thor? Like, what was he wearing? If I'm actually treating this conversation seriously, am I, you're doing a disservice to everybody who's listening. You're doing it because the person's actually like, oh, they're taking this seriously. Like, no, this is something that should be laughed at. It should be laughed out the gym, laughed
Mhm.
out of here. No, we don't want like get out of here. See you later.
You gotta tell the people that that's a joke. And you really have to make them know. I mean, because maybe they don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
just like when you tell your kids when they talk about, well, can Spider Man beat up Batman and all this, they're like, all right, these people ain't even real. Yes, I can
yeah,
whoop all of them. Yeah, because
yeah,
actually Batman is just Christian Bale. He's just Christian Bale, and
yeah,
I think I can take him. So I mean, sometimes you got to tell them. I mean, what do we look like taking it seriously?
yeah.
I mean, I can't see this. Cave Packet said breaking news. Breaking news.
We had a
Oh yeah, Allah.
question. One question it popped up. Where to go? Um, where was it? There was a question in
There's one
here.
from Persian Empress.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Would it be fair and accurate to say that Sultan Bahu's teachings are of misguidance? That is 100% true. It's total misguidance. You might be able to find some truth in it, but that's what Shaitan does. He's going to sprinkle a little bit of truth in there, like salt, so that you can. But in general, what it is, it's total misguidance. He's
Mhm.
trying to teach people that he is Allah and that you can become Allah too. Total misguidance.
Buddhism. Yeah, I think that was it.
Let's see. I think that's it. We covered the laughing. Um, Yeah, I think that's it. I hope this opens up again. We're gonna it's gonna be slow going through this book, but a lot of this will get repetitive. Like we're not gonna keep going in depth every time they mention becoming one with Allah. Like that horse is dead in the ground. It's turned into to dust that the what Prophet Solomon couldn't drink a bowl of cup from. It's dead.
Oh,
It's a dead horse,
oh
y'all.
yeah. Oh
It's
man,
gone.
yeah.
It's gone, y'all. Like, so we're not going to go in depth every time that comes up. We're not going to go in depth every time he mentions Luhut Lamakhan. So it'll start speeding up. It'll start speeding up eventually.
Y'all gotta let me try to. Y'all gotta let me try. I'm gonna try to. I can't even. I know I'm not gonna make it. Never mind.
Oh,
I
wow.
know I won't be able to do. I'm trying to do. Unk's
Breaking news. Hey, y'all for sure watch me. Y'all for sure. Y'all
I'm
for
trying
sure
to
watch
get
me
through
that.
the whole
Yeah,
joke, man, but I
right.
never
Actually,
can get past the second breaking news. I can never. Can you imagine somebody seriously? Can you imagine someone who's like actually been reading the book and they're like, man, I gotta get to Lahut Lamakhan. Like they really trying to.
Yo, I'll tell you a quick story. Right? So I'm not gonna say the brother's name just out of to spare him, but everybody that's in my circles knows who he is. So I might have been like 23. This guy might have been like 19, 18, 19, 20, whatever. He needed a ride from college to like Binghamton.
hmm
I think it was whatever. So I'm giving him a ride, and it's nighttime, right? So you gotta know the scene. He's nighttime. I'm driving. He's sitting in the back seat. We're just talking, and he's like, "Yo, Jafar." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, man?" He's like, "Yo, you know that black book?" I'm like, "Yeah, I heard about it. I heard we weren't supposed to read it, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I read that, Jonah." I'm like, "Okay, alhamdulillah. All right, well, all right." So he's talking a lot of like weird Sufi spiritual stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just giving him like the yeah treat. He's like, "Yo, I got something to tell you." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "But you got to promise not to say nothing to nobody, right?" I'm like, "All right, what you got to say?" He said, "Yo, I'm the Mahdi." Now we laughing now. I was scared. I was scared. Like, yo, I'm trying like, I had to get where he got to go quick, and it was
Okay.
literally like dead silence the rest of the ride. I'm like, "Oh, okay." He read the black book
Yeah.
and somehow thought he was the
He was,
Mahdi.
bro. There's just no way, bro. This is what you want us to take seriously, bro. Like some African American dude that doesn't have any other qualifications that are prerequisites for you to be the Mahdi. Like you have to be an out of, you have to be, you have to be born and have a
Yo,
certain name.
Your
Yeah,
name
yeah,
gotta be
yeah,
Muhammad ibn Abdullah.
well, yeah, all that stuff.
So
Oh
but
yeah,
this should
Allah.
show you how crazy this book is. If someone reads this book, taking it seriously, they come out thinking stuff like African American, born and raised in New York, comes out thinking that they're the Mahdi.
The Mahdi. Oh yeah, Allah. These people are hilarious.
Oh, Allah. May Allah protect us. I
Any more questions?
I don't think so. I
think
think
we're
we're good.
good. We got to hear that audio one time before we sign off, though.
Yeah.
All right.
Hold on, let's sign off and then just
Just let it
let
play.
the
All right,
audio
so
let the audio
close this
finish.
out first.
سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
I mean, assalamu alaikum.
Like,
All right, Jaffer, in the show, inshallah.
oh, I ain't got no sound.
No, I didn't play it yet.
I have some breaking news. This just in. Lahut Lamakhan is in Pakistan. I repeat, Lahut Lamakhan is in Pakistan.
Yo, the second Pakistan is probably the best part of the whole entire audio clip. Well,
Allah, Assalamu alaikum,
I
y'all.
have some breaking news.
I'll not
This
do it
just
again.
in. Lahut Lamakhan is in Pakistan. I repeat, Lahut Lamakhan is in Pakistan.
Assalamu alaikum, y'all.
like, yes, we'll see you next week, inshallah. We'll see you next week, inshallah, for page.